Okay. Blind anyway, so I might as well take my glasses off because I can't even see through them now. Alright. Before I go on with that first video, I'm going to tell you a story. When something gets in, when something's on my heart, it's on my mind, and I'm thinking about it, and I can't stop. Because literally the pieces are being downloaded. Downloaded. And downloaded. I can't explain it. If you were here with me, you'd see it because my entire family does. And I have to get it out because I'm like, you have to be my witness to this right now. You know, so, whoa, you know, even if you don't understand what I'm saying, please just give me your ear so you can be my witness to this, you know. I couldn't possibly know this. I couldn't possibly know this. I'm just like you guys. Just like you. And remember, you know, I always had a good heart. I always had compassion and loved people and brought people home. You know, homeless people needed anything. Which I got a story about that because one I just had. And always got, you know, taken advantage of and blah, 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 blah. Just, you know, the same old song and dance. Broken record. But I still did it. I still had hope. I still had hope. But I think it's more than that. You can't help it. It's the cards you're dealt. It's the heart you're given. It's the soul that is in you. Okay? So you can harden it, you know, when you refuse to just accept people are just people. And when you expect too much of people, your heart will get hardened. You know, you set yourself up for fall. They're just people. No one is perfect. And I know you guys probably heard me say this, but for anybody who hasn't, it was the moment I said, my life is perfect. I had tons of money, I had homes, I had cars, Mercedes, vacation around the world, everything I wanted. My life is perfect. Wow. Wow. Please don't ever say that. I thought I knew God, you know. I always knew he had me. You know, I always had that feeling, you know. I always knew that. And I always knew he really watched me, you know. Kind of like he had his hand, you know, of protection. And that I believe is from my mother, that umbrella, which comes from the lineage, which I was talking about in the last video. A lot of this is, you know, we know these generational blessings and these generational curses. All right. Well, the feeling that I had of that, now I completely understand why. Because I was the last in a direct lineage line. Because my grandfather was so much older than my grandmother. Okay? His father was a half-breed Cherokee Indian. His mother was a full-blooded Cherokee Indian. All right. His father, the last name, my mother's maiden name, was one of these founding names that it's not a common name, but it was a root name, okay? And it's, you know, somebody's going to come in here after this video. So, that's important. But I, being I was the 10th child, but the first one was stillborn. So I was my mother's 10th, you know, birth, but I was the 9th child. Okay? Which completely, I understand that now, too. That 9 and 10 deal. Because, but that Indian okay? This pre-colonial meeting the immigrant, you know, but it was very early. Very early back, you know, they were here a long, long time. The branches that branched off. Well, because my grandfather was so much older than my grandmother, normally the direct lineage would have done past. But I'm 55. My mother was 43 when she had me. See how these things go? I always wondered, why do you have somebody at 40, you know? What's my role? You know, what's my role? It's not up to us. My mother being that old, having me, being the youngest of 9 children, my oldest brother will be 80 next January. Is what kept this generation intact, that blessing intact. I have 3 children, and my middle son died. See, I can't even talk about it. Still, I cry. My Trey, you know, he had that, I call it essence, you know, he had that it factor, whatever that it factor was, and we knew Trey would totally be somebody, but he died at 16 in a car, and that is what brought me to my knees, and that is when he said, okay, you know, and so it's when you quit asking why and when, and it's when you shut your mouth and you open your ears is when he gives you your answers you're looking for. But my daughter is my oldest. All my children are 5 years apart, 4.5, 5 years apart, which completely matters. But Taylor being my youngest, who is, you know, 25, and he's the last. I mean, he's my last one. He is the end of that, because I'm the baby and he's my baby. And it's this 4th generation thing is what it is. And that is why he has that intuition. He has that. That's exactly why. Because he has it too. He fights it. He fights it left and right, but he has it. I never paid attention to any of this before. You know? But you have to understand it. You have to know where you come from to know where you're going. And had I not just you know, so of all the things that I was doing, I'm going to stop and do this ancestry thing again. Really? You know? And so it's when I found that we were 21 degrees from the Queen of England. And then I was like, oh, Lord, please don't tell me we have that blood. Oh, I was freaking out, right? No, we don't have that blood. It's not by blood. It's through Wallace Simpson, you know, most hated woman in America who Edward fell in love with. That's our Irish, Scottish ties, okay, on another side. Actually, it's the Irish side that married into the Indian side, okay? And this Irish side was major power. I mean, they were a major family. They were one of the first families of Illinois, okay? Huge in the Civil War, okay? But of course, we totally disowned because the daughter married my great-grandfather, who was a half-breed. You know what I'm saying? So you're out. But still, it's the roots of these two tribes, these 2 nations, and that's what they were. These 2 nations, and that's what makes us who we are. All right. So This was just on my mother's side. So I started seeing this trail of tears. I started seeing though where they met at the rivers, and you know, in biblical, they always stood by the water. They always followed the water, you know. And the Bible talks about the flow of the waters always, constantly. There, in the middle of that eclipse, where that main bullseye was, right, is an hour and a half from where I live. I'm 20 minutes outside of St. Louis on the Illinois side. So where that was is exactly where my parents are from. And that's exactly where those waters meet. Okay? Records, and I'm telling you, if you, that Kentucky, Tennessee, Ohio, they have, those courthouses, those counties have to have buku records of really good stuff. And that's why. And then it was from then the disbursements, the water started separating, okay? And so everybody started, you know, going here and going there. So then that goes into where the Native Indians, and because of the intermarriage, okay, started going out more and more and more, which ends up going, giving land into Oklahoma. We took the land. The powers that be, they were genociding. They were genociding the Native Americans. Okay. It was the minerals, really. You know, it was the land. You know, the soil, and what the soil held. You have to think about that really, really deeply. And so, that's why they killed them off. Because after they gave them reservations or pieces of land that they all could live, they found out how valuable that land was, and that soil, you know, had oil, you know, and gold and diamonds and gems, you know, all that kind of stuff. That's why they were killed off. So just do your research. You know, I said, you guys have no idea the lack of sleep I get. But this is all coming to a head right now. And the Christians, the church, they're in one lane. They're in one lane. And when these start to merge, I ain't gonna know where to go. I ain't gonna know what to do. I can't go in that lane because that's got something that I was told not to go. I can't look at that. I can't read that. I can't hear that because I was told that was bad. And them over there, they can't because of that one. He's going to merge it. That's what the United States is. That was the final piece. Nobody has the whole show, the whole boat. Nobody. The ark was sliced, so to speak. Everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And until we come together in love and non-judgment and a pliable heart and an open mind without a veil over it, nobody will know the truth. Okay? The left hand is the knowledge and wisdom. Right side is the righteous side. And remember, who cut off the right ear? Okay, in the garden of the guard, who became a Christian after that, was Peter himself. What did Jesus do? He healed it with his left hand. He healed the hearing of the people with the knowledge and wisdom. Now, you have to understand, the left hand is what we, in our false senses here, in our earthly senses, that the world has fine-tuned for us, basically. This is, our senses are dulled. And so they think that this left side is everything bad. So everything that covers this left hand covers is the knowledge and wisdom, and they won't go learn that. And the lack of knowledge is what's the downfall. Because this is what he means. When you have 99 in the left hand, and when he goes out and he gets that one sheep that makes 100, then it transfers all to the right hand. That's because these 99, okay, I'm going to tell you about this one after I finish this here. That knowledge and wisdom, and then that last one that they pull in, boom, on the righteous hand, the right side of God, because they're going to be whole, all right? And 100 is like 1. 1,000 is like 100 or 1. It doesn't matter. 1 is 1. 1 is 1,000. 1 is 100. 1 is 10,000, because it's the layers. It's the pyramid. Okay, it's the government structure. Okay, you have a leader, then you have his. You know, the federal has their. Then all the states have their. Then they have the counties. Then you have the cities. Right. Okay, that is the pyramid. All right, that's the pyramid. So you have to have the left hand, because there's 99 there. That's going to make the 1. Boom. Get that right hand. So nothing is like you think it is. I know it's hard to believe. I really do. But scripture is script. It's script. It's scripted. It's a script. It is our guidebook. It is how to. It's our how to survive book. It's a how to get home book. But you gotta learn how to read it. It's like, you know, learning to read the map. The tribulation that everybody's waiting for is not the tribulation that the world understands in Revelation. Revelation means truth. John the Revelator. Oh, it's so good. He received the truth from the beginning to the end. Okay? I told you in the last video, the Old Testament is heavenly children. Okay? Heavenly events that transpired on earth. The New Testament, we're going backwards, right? This is why we, you know, the Gentiles, we read left to right, and the Jews read right to left. Okay? Because that's when they're going to get it, is when they go back this way, to the right, to the left. That's when they're going to get that. Okay? So the New Testament is earthly people, children, worldly events that now have to transpire in the spirit realm, in heaven. Okay? One gave birth into it, and one gives birth out of it. Okay? And that's exactly what's going to happen. I told you we take somebody with us. I talked about this over and over and over, that he had Jesus, he was born with a spirit, and when he was baptized in the water, he got another spirit. It's the two brothers. It's the twins. It's the Father. It's the Son. It's the sister. It's the what It's the 2. It's taking the cup. It's Moses seeing Joshua tied between the columns. And he went in and he killed the master builder to save Joshua, which exiled him. So who is Moses in the story? This is God's story. His story, history. God's telling us who he is and his story. You have to find him in each book. You have to find him. It's his way. Remember how I kept talking about David and Solomon? There was a key there, right between David and Solomon, but I couldn't get it. You know, Saul and David. Well, who's David? So, this is how it is. He's totally got this. He's totally got this. Okay? But you can't fight it. And this is what is going to cause tribulation. Because he's going to, like this. But, again, Jacob climbing that mountain with those donkeys. He had a bride's ransom. You know, he was running from Esau. He was scared. Okay. Well, Jacob's going to be running again. Or Jacob, a lot of them, right? They're going to be running again, trying to climb that mountain. But you can't carry a bride's ransom. Okay? You can't carry anything from here. That means understanding, teaching. Whatever the world gave you, leave in the world. That is giving Caesar what is due Caesar. Give Caesar what's due. Give it all to him. And go with nothing. So it wasn't until Jacob let go of those donkeys that were packed, you know, that he climbed that mountain and made it over to the other side to his uncle Laban's. And then Esau's man was there, you know, taking him back. But that's what all this means, guys. So you can't carry the suitcase up. It's going to be a really steep hill that you're going to try, and you're going to keep on falling. Keep falling. Those 7 seals, they're a gift. I mean, they're you have to break the seal of they're a teaching. They're a truth. Okay, they're a truth. You know, when the flood happened and the land split, right? Okay, 7. There's 7. This is 7-fold spirits. It's the 7. You know, without a hint. It's the menorah. You have to light your candles of the menorah. You light them when you break a seal of truth. When you get a truth, you get another light lit to your path, because the path's going to be dark if you don't have a spark lit here. If you don't have any candles lit here, any knowledge, or you know, you're going to be in pure darkness, because you're not going to know what to do. And I know this is true. I know this is true. And so this is why at the end you're standing there with this full lit menorah, and he can see you. He knows where you're at. He can see you. You have to take everything that you think is, and this is, we've all been taught this way, because this is the only world we know. It's a material world. I am a material girl. It's a material world. Because things are birthed. This is where birth is. Okay? It's not just in the one dimension that we see, not in the flesh. We all know that there are other realms and there are other things that get birthed that you can't see. Okay? So, this is where everything is birthed. in darkness or in light. But even if it's in the light, it still has to be closed off from you because it's here. Okay? Just like Paul. And remember his best friend Reuben, who was a Pharisee? Paul was a Sadducee. Reuben was the Pharisees. And he was a priest. He wanted to be high priest, though. But he gave his life. He thought he knew everything about God and everything about the law and everything about the temple and everything, right? He fought it. And so he was going to kill Paul. I mean, all he wanted to do was kill Paul, kill Paul, kill Paul. Because Paul received the truth, see? Meaning Paul no longer believed the world. He no longer believed what the men of the earth had taught him. He was being taught by God, by the Spirit, by the Father, by the Holy of Holies. Spirit. He was getting direct download. He wasn't sitting there listening to somebody. I mean, he was getting filled. His vessel was getting filled. Okay? You can't fight that. You cannot fight that. So, Reuben didn't understand it. And so he had to, that's blasphemy, blah, blah, blah. But Reuben, I mean, he was really thought that because see, the scales were still there. And so again, this is what's going to happen. The church is going to go after, because they're going to think that people are that they've taken this mark of the beast. Okay, the beast means teacher. Okay, the beast is Jesus, but it's not Jesus, but it's Jesus. I mean, he's everything, right? Because the left and the right go together. They got to go together. And he's going to be a beast to those that don't want to listen. Okay? So, you're not going to, again, you won't recognize him then. Again, it's them in the boat. They did not recognize him when he was on the water. They thought he was a ghost. And it wasn't until they heard his voice that they knew it was the master, the teacher. But he had to get back in the boat with them because they just couldn't, they just couldn't stop seeing what was manifested around them, that fear. Fear is not real. Fear manifests the more darkness. Fear manifests everything. Fear is not real. It is a spirit that is born. When fear tricks you, and when you don't have that knowledge and wisdom to understand what I'm talking about and what fear is, you're going to have to face the giants, because that's what it is. The land of the giants. Okay. Coming here, the giants manifested into real giants, because, again, that's what happens here. Going back, okay, it's going from soul, going from flesh to spirit. Okay, the giants is the words. Giants is going to be, actually, it's going to be the fear, it's going to be the fear. It's going to be so many Christians that are going to be used to tell you that's wrong. Don't go that way. No. Don't go that way. Don't do that. Don't do that. Okay. It's going to, that fear is what makes sure you believe all these lies. So what's wrong with all these girls? This whole millennial thing, they have no confidence. They sit and worry. Their mind just goes and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls. Lord, shut it down. Get over it. You have to, you got to stop. You got to know that's what the giants are. Okay? You have to, do you know why David, how he killed a giant? Shot a rock right here. What is a rock? Rock is a word. Rock is an angel. Rock is Jesus. Rock is the truth. Rock is whatever, okay? That is a form of whatever foundation that you stand on, okay? He shot right here, which is your forehead, which is from your forefathers. It is knowledge obtained, sight given from forefathers. Okay, that has to be killed. That has to be destroyed, because that is what's talking from remembering, okay? I was taught this, I was taught that. So those giants is what everybody's going to have to cross. You have to, going into the promised land, just like Joshua had to do, which the giants manifested in real time, okay? But now it's going to be in spirit, okay? You can't going to be able to see them. It's what you're going to call demons, okay? It's what you're going to call demons in the dark. And if you go in the dark and you don't have a light to see, really, there's nothing out there. What is that? If you don't have your spark lit, your menorah, you're going to be going up that ladder or going on that thing, and you're going to be in pitch black. And so you're going to hear it. You're going to think, oh, what's out there? What's out there? It's going to, in fear. Okay, here got fear. Giants getting bigger. Giants getting bigger. You know what this is? This is Goliath taunting Saul and his army. They were stuck on the mountain with no food. Okay, if they didn't find a way down, they were going to starve. And all that's what he did. Goliath taunted and taunted and taunted and taunted and taunted. That's what this is. David just went out there and went, boom, boom. He had to kill. Okay, this means, this is what this third eye is, that again, the others think is something that, this is your forefathers. Whatever your forefathers foretold, okay, your forefathers taught you. These are words, okay, and these are thoughts, and these are remembrances, but they're from man. These have to be destroyed, okay, or you cannot move further. This is, you have to let everything go. Everything earthly has to be gone. Because see, if you get some light going, you'll be able to turn that light and see who's really talking to you. What kind of wolves are on this path? You got a light. And you're going to look and say, that's nothing. That's not, I thought that was really something big over there. This is how you get the giant. This is how you're going to destroy the giants. Okay. You have to know the Bible, because you have to know his story.